appeared in the postseason at all. And then you lose Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, Brusdar Graterol, Blake Trinan. I mean, you can talk about offseason additions when it comes to relievers, but the volatility of that position, Jerry, I mean, this is a pretty big investment. And I think that there's not a lot of guys that you can say, okay, this guy, when he's right, is going to be a lock to at least have the floor of success. Edwin Diaz certainly appears to be one of those guys, though.
Without a doubt. I remember right after the parade, I was in the dugout club, and I ran into somebody who is pretty high up. Let's just say he can make decisions. And he basically said, they should have got us this year. They should have got us this year. You know what's amazing? You go back, and I was obviously, you guys are covering it every single day. I just remember getting text messages from, former players that are in other organizations. And they're saying, you guys are in trouble this year. And you know what? They were right. Our bullpen did not perform very well, especially heading into the postseason. Dodgers did not have a closer. They did not have a closer. And they're going to try to patch things up in the bullpen. And you guys know, usually, or you better have a rock-solid bullpen heading into the postseason. Dodgers did not. They did not. They had to make Roki into a closer. So fortunate for us that he thrives in that role. Offensively, Dodgers weren't really swinging the bat heading into the postseason, and they really didn't swing the bat that well in the postseason, but they were fortunate enough to have moments. If you really look back at it, watching the games over the course of the offseason, especially the NLDS games against the Phillies, guys, the Phillies should have beat the Dodgers. They had them on the ropes. They should have beat them. Go to the World Series. The Blue Jays, how many times did the Blue Jays have the Dodgers literally on the ropes? They didn't close. The Dodgers, obviously their experience and their will, they allowed themselves to win that championship and now back-to-back champions. Dodgers are extremely smart. They know and recognize, man, we kind of got a little fortunate to win that World Series, but we're going to make sure we put ourselves in the best possible position. That's why when Kyle Tucker became available, hey, let's go get that dude. Let's get him. When Diaz, as the offseason, went along like Fabian stated, hey, we literally have a chance to get him. Nobody really kind of closed the deal to get him. So as it came about, the Dodgers said, we can legitimately get this dude. He is a lockdown closer. Boom, they got him. And it's so fortunate that the Dodgers, because what they've done is lay down a foundation. They made it the place to be. Yes, their teams have tons of money. Other teams have, chances to win. The Dodgers had the 5th best record last year heading in the postseason. Not the number 1, not the number 2. They had the 5th best record. But what they do is they make sure just about every single year, they make it a great environment for players to come and play. Diaz asked his brother, hey, what's it like being a Dodger? Hey, if you get a chance to go over there, go over there. He asked Kike Hernandez, brother, you got to come here. So they make it so enticing to come here. And I'm telling you guys, big league players talk. I've had opportunities when I played to go to this place. My brother said, Jerry, don't go there. Or vice versa. Hey, man, I'd probably look to go elsewhere. Or our friends, they're in the big league. So Dodgers have made it the place to be. It's a vibe. Don't knock the Dodgers for making this the place to be. And they've been rewarded because just about every player that has a chance tries to get here.
Yeah, I remember asking Edwin Diaz about that down at spring training, just the Alexis Diaz and Kike and his brother talking to him. And it's like, hey, what do they say is great? He's like, what was it? He's like, it's great. And I was like, what's great? He's like, everything. I'm like, this is coming from a guy, Alexis Diaz. It's not like he had a lot of success with the Dodgers, right? It's not like he had a big role, but he still said that, hey, they had an impact on me. I like being here. Fabian, I mean, is that really just the word around the big league clubhouse? Like, hey, like the Dodgers, it's like a next level thing that they're doing on the side to say, hey, like we want to make sure that our reputation is to be a franchise that's this destination franchise that can get not just superstar free agents, but sometimes second level, third level, any type of player wants to be here.
Yeah, and the Dodgers for years were that for the reclamation types. Like they were for the Max Muncies, for the Chris Taylors. So that's why they got a guy like an Andrew Heaney, a guy like a Tyler Anderson free agency a few years back, because they knew that Dodgers had the reputation of getting the most out of you. That's how Teoscar Hernandez wound up in LA as well. But I think what you've seen over the last couple of years, especially as the Dodgers revenue has, which was already high, jumped significantly with the Shohei Ohtani boost, you've seen guys basically say like, all right, this is a place to win. Like they are winning. They're built, ready to go, and they're going to keep spending. And yeah, of course Kyle Tucker wants to be in the lineup with the Shohei Ohtani, with Mookie Betts, with Freddie Freeman. Yeah, these guys want to win. And I think the Dodgers have done so much stuff on the periphery where they already kind of were a place that had a good reputation for how they treated players, for how open front offices communication-wise with guys. And also just this is a place that's going to try to make the most of maximizing you. And even the guys who don't have success here, they even heard Michael Conforto say that, like, hey, I didn't click, like nothing clicked there, but it's not because the Dodgers didn't do enough to try to help me improve. It just didn't work. But like he was a guy who stuck around, who the Dodgers kept around all season long, all postseason long, to keep him around just in case he was needed and just in case the right opportunity came along. But like that was obviously something that resonates with guys. Like they aren't going to necessarily cut bait with veterans that they believe in.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be electric here in that run out. And, hey, he's a guy who is elite. I mean, 8th in FIP, 2nd in strikeout rate, 3rd in strikeout to walk rate, 4th in expected ERA. I think he had the surface level, the under-the-hood stuff. And it's going to be exciting to see Dave Roberts go to him to close out games for the Dodgers. Now, speaking of newer Dodgers that no one was really talking about heading into this season, Santiago Espinal. I know that, Fabian, you guys are looking for stories down at Camelback Ranch. Shohei's playing for the WBC. Yamamoto's over there. Santiago Espinal has really emerged with the injury to Tommy Edman, with the chance to make this roster. Feels like he's made the most of his opportunities early on. But what have you seen from Santiago Espinal down there?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be on the opening day roster. Dave Roberts pretty much said as such last week. And I think he's obviously earned it. And you're looking at the roster math, and it makes a lot of sense, especially with Tommy Edman starting the season on the injured list. They kind of could use another versatile right-handed bat. It makes sense in that sort of environment. And it seems like the bat has made some changes that, at least this spring, have looked really good. We'll see, obviously, how things translate over the course of the season, especially when you have limited playing time. But they've worked with him on some of the stuff with his bat path, trying to emphasize the contact that he's making sure that not only is he making more contact, but that he's really making more impactful contact. And it's gotten him back to a place where he hasn't quite been that often in his big league career. Like, this is a guy who, even during his all-star season with the Blue Jays, finished as a below league average hitter by OPS plus. Like, this is not a guy who's necessarily going to tear the cover off the ball, but he's a guy who's a useful player that they kind of wanted Andy Ibanez to be, where he's just going to be a right-handed bench bat who you feel comfortable defensively at multiple different positions. And if he's in your lineup hitting ninth once or twice a week, you feel fine with that. I think that's kind of how the Dodgers see that happening. And obviously we'll see once Tommy Edman comes back, once Kike Hernandez gets back, how things kind of shake out. But at least while Kike Hernandez is recovering from surgery, they basically have a guy who can do a lot of the same things.
Yeah, and Jerry, you look at spring training stats and the success that he's had early on. He's definitely built that momentum. I mean, how important is that for a guy like Santiago Espinal to get added to a team that, hey, you got all the superstars, but this is someone that's kind of making that role his early on. And do you think that this is something you're buying into as well?
Yeah, I am. He's a veteran guy that knows how to play. I think that's the most important thing. You get a guy that knows his role, and he's been in the big leagues. He's not going to get phased by playing in LA. And like Fabian stated, if he is in that 9-hole once or twice a week, he knows how to have those type of at-bats with Shohei Ohtani behind him. So I love the fact that they have worked on his swing and has a higher contact rate, and he's squaring up the baseball a lot better. So again, getting a veteran guy on your ball club that knows how to catch the ball, knows how to needs to be at certain situations, whether third, short, or second base. If you need him, if something happens to, let's say,